So this is the tutorial if you want to make the inseam pockets for the camel coat. If you haven't seen the tutorial of the camel coat, then go back to the former video to check that out, because I only show here now the inseam pockets. So that's this tutorial. So what you have to do is when you cut out all the pieces for the whole coat, make sure you make an adjustment for the front parts. I didn't draw it on the pattern, so you have to draw it on the pattern or do it on the fabric. But make sure when you put all your pieces on the fabric that you mark it, because it happened to me more than once, unfortunately, that I put all the pieces on the fabric and I start cutting, and I thought, oh my god, I forgot to cut that out too, because it was not on the pattern. So make sure you adjust the pattern, or when you put the pattern on the fabric, immediately mark what adjustments you have to make. So what you have to do is you mark on your fabric or on your pattern where you want your pockets to be, where they want to start and you want them to stop, and then you cut out a rectangle on the seam. I saw this is not really a rectangle. It's not really that bad, but it looks nicer when it's okay. So you cut a rectangle that will be the insert of your pocket on the side front part. The mid front part you give a sort of facing by cutting out a rectangle. Can you see that? Yeah. Cutting out a rectangle, and you pin that on the fabric exactly on the place where you put the rectangle on the side front. So measure out where this will match this, and you cut out just a loose piece and you pin it on that spot. Then you have to cut out a pocket, of course, from the lining, and you can easily do that just by putting your hand on it and then you cut it out. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pin this on the side front pattern, and you're gonna sew that on. Then you put the other part of the pocket on that one. Then you put the outer parts exactly where they need to be. So line up the markings. It's a centimeter over a centimeter, and then see where your facing matches the lining of the pocket. Lay them nicely that they are matching, that the lines are matching, like that, and then you pin it onto the fabric, the lining of the pocket onto the facing of the pattern. Just about, because you turn it around to sew it, so it's just that it's fastened there. See, then you have it there. And then you can sew this part, you can sew this part, you can sew this part, and then I think it's easiest to first sew this all around so that the pocket is secured, because then when you're gonna sew the mid front to the side front in this whole princess seam, you can immediately also make the cut here and the cut here, and then you have a nicely continuously seam around here, and also strengthened the insert of your pocket. Make sure your hand can go in. So I see this rather tight, so I think I'll make it a bit wider, but then you have a really nice pocket in your seams. How do I sew back? Oh yeah, back stitch, very important, but I found it. Okay, well, a couple of hours later, because I had quite some struggle with this machine. It didn't do what it had to do, but I hope now it's working fine. So I try to take the risk. And then we have beautiful inseam pockets. Looks very nice, like you don't look into the lining. So when we sew this on top of each other, can you see that? This on top of each other, we make a little backstage here so to strengthen the pocket opening. And you have a beautiful inseam pocket. Very easy to do when you know how to do it. And this is what it looks when you have stitched it all down. Made the strengthening stitches here. And it looks very nice. It's almost invisible, but it's a very nice inseam pocket.